How to Solve a Problem, The Rise and Falls of a Rock Climbing Champion by Ashima Shiraishi, illustrated by Yozao. How to solve a problem. I am Ashima. What I do is climb. What I do is solve problems, which is to say, I make them mine. We climbers call our boulders problems. We also call our problems problems, and to solve them both is sort of the same. Once I had a problem, and it stretched into the sky. It was tremendously endless. It was bigger than thinking. It was as huge as the air or the night or the planet, and it was a problem bigger than any I had ever seen, and I have seen plenty. There were twists and turns. There were places that looked as slick as glass. One part was arched like a question mark, and another part stuck out like my father's elbow in a photo I have seen of him dancing. And another was shaped like bolts of fabric stacked in my mother's sewing room. There were many parts, and none of them looked easy. I sighed and clapped my hands full of chalk, which is what I do before I solve a problem. I held this problem in my head and I mapped out every step, each place I would put my hand, and then I began to climb. Dug my toe into the dot of the question mark, jammed my fingers into the bend of my father's dancing elbow, and kicked my leg over my mother's fabric. And then, for a moment, the world slipped out from under me. I was climbing nothing but air. The ground beneath me rushed up and pressed into my back like the hand of a giant named Gravity. So I dusted myself off, and Dad asked how I was feeling. He passed me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and for a while, we just sat there. Then, when I was ready, I looked at the problem again with the new information the fall had given me. Each fall is a message, a hint, an idea, a new way to move from over there to over here. So I started, and so I fell. And so I climbed again, listening to what the fall had told me. The problem that was endless, which I broke into little pieces. The problem that gave me hints with each fall. And surely and quickly, I climbed the wall. I dug my fingers there and here and stretched my arms like ropes. I threw my body through the air and caught myself in all the ways I'd imagined, a bright path of thinking. And there, at the top of the problem, I looked down at the bolts of fabric, at the dot of the question mark, and the bend of the elbow. And I waved hello at the memory of how hard the problem was. And I looked for one problem more. April 3rd, 2001, Ashima Shiraishi is born to Suya and Hisatoshi Shiraishi. Data is not available for when Ashima figures out how to climb out of her crib. Age 6, Ashima begins climbing at Rat Rock in Central Park in New York City. Age 7, Ashima enters her first climbing competition. Age 8, Ashima solves the problem Power of Silence in Hueco Tanks, Texas. This boulder is rated V10 for difficulty, a grade only expert climbers can achieve. Age 9, Ashima climbs her first V11 and V12 problems, including Rogered in the Shower and Chablanc in Hueco Tanks. Age 10, Ashima becomes the youngest person ever to climb a V13 problem, Crown of Aragorn, in Hueco Tanks. Only elite climbers and professionals can climb at this grade. Age 13, Ashima climbs Golden Shadow in Rockland, South Africa, pictured in this book, her first V14. Age 14, Ashima becomes the first woman in the world to climb a V15 boulder problem, Horizon in Mount Hai, Japan, and she is the second person ever to have solved this problem. Age 15, Ashima sweeps the IFSC Youth World Championships for the third year running and also places first in the SCS Nationals. What comes next? The sky's the limit. And that's her right there.